You're listening to Pankaj Rai. In this video, we will be discussing about the numericals of the first chapter of chemistry, which is the solid state. In this chapter, we are having three basic structures. The first one, simple cubic, where the atoms are present at the 8 vertices of the unit cell. The body centered, where the atoms are present at the 8 corners of the unit cell plus one atom is present at the center of the unit cell. That's why the name body centered. And then we have the face centered, where along with the 8 atoms at the 8 corners, there are 6 atoms at the center of the 6 faces. Before going into the details of the structures, I would require some basic geometry which I would be explaining with the help of this cube. Okay. Now, in this chapter, the edge length of the unit cell is taken as letter A. So let us say that these are the edge lengths, all are equal to A. Okay. What I am interested in is this diagonal. Look at this diagonal on the base square. We know that if the side of the square is A, then the diagonal is given by root 2 times the side, so it is root 2A. Okay. I'll be interested in one more diagonal, which is across the 3 dimensions from this atom to this atom. Okay. So let me draw that. So I'm interested in the length of this diagonal as well. Okay. Now if you see this diagonal, consider this root 2A diagonal and this side A. So now apply Pythagoras in this triangle, which is this one, this vertex and this vertex. Okay. So root 2A square, which is the side of this diagonal, that will be 2A square, plus A square, that will be 3A square, that will be the square of the length of this diagonal. So it is root 2A square plus A square, which is 2A square plus A square, which is 3A square. So this will be root 3A. Okay. So I would be interested in three things, that is the edge length is A, the face diagonal is root 2A, and the 3D diagonal is root 3A. Now let us begin with the geometry of simple cubic. Okay. As you can see, this is the edge length, which is A. In this edge length, there are two radius, which is this one and this one. Similarly, in this A, there are two radii. R plus R is A, R plus R is A. You consider in any direction, this one, R plus R is A. R plus R, that is the radius of the atom, is A. So here, this is R, this is R. So we can see that R plus R is A. So for this I will write that R plus R is A, that is 2R is equal to A. Okay. Now moving ahead. Look at this diagram. Now in this you will see that the corner elements are not touching each other. Here also the corner elements are not touching each other. The body centered atom is being touched by the two atoms on the opposite vertex of 3 dimensions, which is this one, this atom, and this atom. These two atoms are joined by this atom. Okay. And similarly this atom and this atom are joined by the center atom. Similarly this atom and this atom are joined by the center atom, and similarly this one, and that would be opposite, which is not visible. Now what I'm interested in, if you see carefully, this is R, the radius of the corner atom. This is also R, the radius of the corner atom. They are joined by the center atom. Now center atom, let's say this is the center. So this would be the radius of the center atom, and this will be one more radius of the center atom. So if you see from this point to this point, we are having R plus R plus R plus R, that is 4 times R. Okay. and the distance from this point to this point, as I have already discussed in this diagram, is root 3a. So what I'll say is r plus r plus r, that is 4r, is equal to root 3a. So for this I will write 4r is equal to root 3a. Okay, moving ahead to the face centered. In the face centered, the corner atoms are obviously not touching each other. The atoms are touching with the help of this face centered atom. Okay, so if you can see, this is r, 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 and this is r. Okay, that means this atom and this atom, they are connected by this atom. This atom and this atom, they are connected by this atom. Okay, so let us concentrate here. This is radius of the corner atom. Similarly, this is radius of the corner atom. Let's say this is the center of the atom at the face center. So this is its one radius and this is its another radius. So there are r plus r plus r plus r, that is 4r along the face diagonal, and the face diagonal, as I have already discussed, is root 2a. You may consider any face diagonal, this one, this one, this one, any. So it will be root 2a only. So for this I can say that 4r is equal to root 2a. Okay, so you got to remember that for simple cubic 2r is a, for body centered 4r is root 3a, and for face centered 4r is root 2a. Along with this, there is one more thing which you have to remember, is the total number of atoms in a unit cell. Okay, now see, in simple cubic there are 8 atoms at the corner, but for a corner atom, the corner atom is shared between 8 unit cells. So only 1/8 of one of the atom is inside this unit cell. Now there are 8 atoms at the corners. Okay, this unit cell is receiving 1/8 of each. So 1/8 of 8 atoms. So effectively the SCC have 1 atom. Now along with the effectiveness of 1 atom at the corners, there is 1 extra atom at the center of the body of the unit cell. So there are 1 plus 1, 2 effective atoms in body centered, and if you concentrate here, along with the 1 effective atoms of the corner atoms, we are having 6 atoms at the center of the face. Now this atom which is at the center of the face is being divided into 2 unit cells, this one and the other one which is beside this. So this unit cell is receiving only half of that atom. Okay, so there are 6 such face centered atoms and this unit cell is receiving half of them. So 6 atoms and half of them each, so that would be 3 atoms in total, plus 1 effective atom of the corners. So face centered have 4 effective atoms. So that is the basic knowledge which you require about SCC, BCC and FCC. Let us move ahead. Now, if A is the edge length, and in this chapter the edge lengths would be denoted in centimeter mostly. You should know the conversions from meter, picometer and everything. Okay. From this I can also calculate the volume of the unit cell, which would be given by A cube, and that would be, the unit would be centimeter cube. The density of the cube is given by mass of the cube, which is mass of one unit cell, divided by volume of one unit cell. The mass of one unit cell would be in grams. The volume of one unit cell would be in centimeter cube. So obviously density is given by gram per centimeter cube. Okay. Now density would be given to you in terms of gram per centimeter cube. Volume you can calculate if you are having edge length by the formula A cube. What about mass of one unit cell? This is the very important topic. Okay, how to calculate the mass of one unit cell. Now if you see, the cell actually comprises of atoms only and rest of the space is void space. So mass of one cell is equivalent to the masses of the atoms. For simple cubic, the mass of one unit cell is equal to the mass of one atom. For body centered, the mass of one unit cell is equal to two atoms, and for face centered, the mass of one unit cell is equal to the mass of four atoms. But how do we calculate mass of one atom? That is very important. Okay, so let me teach you how to calculate mass of one atom. To find the mass of one atom, you would be given what is called as molar mass. Okay, and you will be given molar mass of the element in gram per mole. Now what is molar mass? Okay, now molar mass is the mass of the element of 1 mole. That is, if I take 1 mole of that element, what would be the mass of it in terms of gram? So you would be given molar mass of the element in terms of gram per mole. Okay, now we are having the molar mass. So that is the mass of 1 moles of atoms. But I am interested in finding the mass of one atom. So actually I have to divide the molar mass by number of atoms in 1 mole, and which is equal to the Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number is the number of atoms in a mole. So Avogadro number would be per mole, that these many number of atoms are there per mole, and we all know that Avogadro number is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 per mole. So these many number of atoms are there per mole of any element. If you take any element, 1 mole of that, so in that 1 mole of any element you would be finding 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms. Okay, now so here I am having the molar mass, that is the mass of 1 mole of atom, mass of 1 mole of element, which is having 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms. So if I divide that molar mass with the number of atoms per mole, what I would be getting is mass of one atom. So mass of one atom is molar mass divided by Avogadro's number. So molar mass would be in gram per mole and Avogadro number is per mole. So per mole will get cancelled and effectively you will be having mass of one atom in terms of grams. After getting mass of one atom, okay, suppose if I have been given simple cubic, so mass of one atom is same as the mass of unit cell, which will go here. So we are getting the mass of one cell. Now if it is given BCC, so I will multiply mass of one atom by 2 because there are 2 atoms in BCC. So mass of 2 atoms would be equal to the mass of one cell. And similarly for FCC, I will multiply the mass of one atom by 4 to get the mass of one cell, which will go here. So now you're completely clear with all the terms related to the chapter solid states, which will be helping you to solve any numerical. Okay, you would be given edge length, you would be able to find volume, density would be given, or mass of one cell or volume of one cell, which would be coming from the edge length. Mass of one cell would come from this formula. This is the very important formula. Each and every problem, most of the problems begins with this formula, that is mass of one atom is molar mass upon Avogadro's number. You should be remembering Avogadro's number. Molar mass would be given to you, so you would be having the mass of one atom multiplied by the number of atoms, 4, 2 or 1, you would be getting the mass of one cell, and volume would be given to you, so you would be able to find density, or density would be given to you, you will be able to find volume, and after getting volume you can also find the edge length. So this covers almost all the numericals based on the structures of crystallization, except one in which they ask you to find out number of atoms given in x grams. Okay, so how to do that? Now let me take an example. Let's say you have been given the molar mass of some element as 52 gram per mole. Okay, so obviously in 52 grams of that element there will be Avogadro's numbers of atom, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atom. Now suppose the question is find the number of atoms in 26 grams of that element. So how to do this? See, it is very simple. Now if there are 52, if the molar mass is 52 grams, that means in 52 grams there are Avogadro's number of atoms. So in 26 grams there would be how many atoms? It is so simple. So let's say there are X number of atoms in 26 grams. So there is a simple formula. The X number of atoms upon Avogadro number of atoms is equal to 26 gram upon molar mass. Therefore X, that is number of atoms in 26 grams, would be equal to 26 into Avogadro number, which is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 divided by the molar mass, which is 52. Now Avogadro number would be in per mole and this would be in gram per mole and this is in gram. So every unit will get cancelled and you will have just a constant. Now here it will get divided by 1s and 2. So the number of atoms would be 3.022 into 10 raised to 23. So this covers your each and every numerical related to solid states. Thank you very much.